All right, so today, right now, we're going to do dead bugs. Dead bugs are one of the best core exercises, but again, as I say all the time, they are butchered by most people. If you are doing a dead bug correctly, it should be extremely challenging, and a dead bug is all about the intent. So you can do it and not feel anything, or you can do it and it can be the hardest thing in the world, and it really has to do with how you understand the core position and core control. So go back to my video on core mechanics if you haven't watched it. But the first thing we're going to look at when you have a dead bug, Shannon, just raise your hands, don't pick your feet up yet. So when people lay in this natural position, we have a natural curve in our spine. So Shannon has a little space here. We all have a little space because our spine is naturally curved a little bit. When we try to work the core, we want to get rid of that natural curve in the spine. And if you look back at that core video, that is exactly that anterior pelvic tilt and the spinal extension, right? My spine looks like this. We want to posterior tilt the pelvis and flatten out that spine. So if Shannon does that, you'll see that as she tilts her pelvis up like this and her ribs come forward, that space down here, I can't fit my hand there anymore, right? Before there was a little space for me to slide my hand under, and now it's not there. And when you're doing this, just doing that in and of itself will activate the abs, and Shannon is working right now just to hold this position. So now, if we go into a dead bug position is starting with the feet up like this. So when you do this, we're, again, bringing the pelvis to the ribs, and we're closing that gap on the floor. This is the most important thing. You can think push into the floor as if Shannon is trying to crush my hand with her fingers, trying to push her spine into the floor as hard as she can. From this position, anything that we do, the goal is to maintain this core position. Meaning, we're going to lower just one leg at a time, Shannon. As Shannon lowers her leg and gets long, her spine, which is pressed down right now, wants to go like this. It wants to come back to that natural curve, come back in. The longer she gets her foot away from her and the longer she stays down there, the more her abs are working. Now, unbrace your core for a sec and just go and like regular thing and let your back arch, right? So now if Shannon does this, you see this huge space right here? Her abs are not doing anything. So this is what a lot of people do when they're doing dead bugs. They can throw the other hand back as well, right? And they're just kind of moving, right? So come back in. If Shannon is doing that and not paying attention to her core brace, it's going to be a lot easier. You can do 100 reps like this because her core, look at how her spine is going up and down with each rep, right? This is what we want to stay away from, as opposed to brace hard, pelvis to ribs, and now extend one arm and one leg. You see no movement through here. This is a perfect dead bug, and the core is working hard to keep these muscles together, right? So when you watch, if I only look from the pelvis to the ribs, there should be no movement. That's how I know that the dead bug is happening correctly and the core muscles are working. And the longer you get, the harder it is. So if we wanted to regress this a little bit, come back to the top, Shannon, we could just do one leg at a time, right? Not get the arms into it, but still paying attention to this. We could do, come back, we could do bent legs, right? One leg at a time. Yep, just tap to the heel, exactly like that. We could do both legs like that. All of these are regressions. The point is that the longer you get from this position, so your hands and your feet, the longer they get away from you, the more challenging it is to keep this core position. So we want to crunch the core, the pelvis to the ribs, push down through the spine, there's no space here, and then find a position that we can get into and still keep that position. Meaning, if Shannon went regular dead bug, arm and leg, but lost it in the pelvis and dumped it forward here and her spine arched up, that would mean this is too hard for her, right? I would want to find a regression from that. So I might say, okay, let's just go bent leg instead. And now she can keep it here, so this is a place that she wants to be. It's not about what looks the best, it's about what you can do while keeping this perfect pelvis position. So if you're not able to keep this perfectly still, find a regression that works for you, because this is much more important than using the arm and the leg or getting super long or doing anything else like that. So fix this in your dead bugs and you should be able, after 10 to 12 reps, to feel smoked like Shannon is right now. All right?